I know you're right, but I won't say sorry. Turning out the lights, but I can't get you off my mind. When you pour your wine and you're folding laundry, gotta make you mine, 'cause you know that I can feel it. You're inside my bones. Please never leave me alone.
Silk, steel, and style. In this episode, we raid the costume box once again and turn Ashley into a samurai, warrior, geisha approximation. In an era where cultural appropriation is at the top of the trigger list for people who simply cannot wait for something to come along and offend them, we fly in the face of adversity, let creativity take the reins, and do our best to celebrate the meticulous precision of Japanese culture. Mother Nature provides a setting of spring cherry blossoms and perfect light. It would be a shame to let this meticulous setting go by the wayside, and so we spring, see what I did there, into action for a new series of natural light portraits. Let us begin. Greetings friends and welcome to Premium Light Academy. We have a very special treat in store for you today. Spring is upon us, which means that every single cherry tree in Colorado Springs is in full bloom. This is going to give us an absolutely beautiful series of locations for our next set of environmental portraits. Now, here's the catch. These trees are only in bloom for 2 weeks out of the year, which gives us a very limited window of opportunity. So, let's get started. I like to think of portrait photography as an endless treasure trove of possibilities. You can be anyone you want to be on any given day. In the instance of the cherry blossoms, the imagination tends to wander in the direction of feudal Japan, the time of the samurai, a warrior class with unrivaled skill. The only problem with this little bit of cosplay is that we don't exactly have a closet full of authentic Japanese kimonos. And so, like any good comedy crew, we improvise. The costume box reveals a Jedi cloak, a bit of red fabric, an old house robe, and a few yards of bandages. As you can see, from head to toe, the ensemble hardly makes any sense at all. But when we break out the telephoto lens and zoom in, reality is replaced with the magical world of imagination. Our first location is here in the neighborhood. A row of white crabapple trees will serve as our environment. And here's where things get tricky. My intention is to create an endless sea of white cherry blossoms. And this means we need to play the game of angles. Now, JT tends to be far more sophisticated with his portrait work than I am. He uses a series of flashes and reflectors to ensure that there is perfect soft light on Ashley's face with every shot. If you are interested in learning more about using flash photography to up your portrait game to a whole new level, be sure to check out our next episode where JT breaks down his basic outdoor lighting equation. As for me, all I have is a camera. No flashes, no modifiers, just light from the Almighty. We have tucked Ashley into a tiny nook of shade, and thankfully, Mother Nature has sent up a few clouds to help soften our light. As the shutter fires, the first series of images start to take shape. The telephoto lens cuts through the air like Japanese steel and allows us to isolate our model with just the right amount of environment to create the illusion of a cherry blossom infinity forest. Now, as much as I would love to have a movie set wardrobe for every shoot, sadly, our costume box only takes us so far. Fortunately, with a little bit of Photoshop magic, we can peel off a little slice of imagination to take these images across the finish line. much like costumes, cherry blossoms come in many flavors. For the next portion of our photo expedition, we discover a beautiful grove of magenta blooms. This is me standing in the middle of this magnificent location pretending to take a picture. And even though the camera is not even turned on, you get the idea. Mother Nature has provided us a spectacular setting, and it is up to us to capitalize on our good fortune. There's just one little complication. Trees tend to be tall, and people, not so much. Fortunately, this situation is easily solved with a ladder. Once again, a busy street of cars zip by as we place Ashley just out of sight from the bustling city. After a quick game of angles, she is once again transported into a majestic forest. Quick safety note: always use caution and do not put your model in danger. In our case, a few steps on the ladder places Ashley directly into the center of the canopy, where she is surrounded by a swirling mass of magnificent crimson blossoms. Ladders are very handy for photography. Just don't go crazy. Remember, you are not the fire department. The farther you get from the ground, the closer you get to the hospital. So always stay safe. Once again, the telephoto lens slices through the air like the swift sword of a ninja, and we find ourselves in a fantasy forest of radiant blossoms. And as if this scene alone is not magical enough, I think we might just send in a little flurry of snowflakes to put the icing on the cake. Wait, do samurai eat cake? Did they even have cake in feudal Japan? I should not be allowed on the internet. All right, friends, as always, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had fun on our little samurai adventure. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We got a lot of cool new stuff coming up, and I don't want you to miss out, including our next video, in which case JT uses off-camera flash to create beautiful dynamic light for the next portion of our samurai series. You can check that out right here, and I'll see you in the next lesson.